The Zone 1059.com.
Here we go. Welcome in. Welcome in. It just so happens to be a Friday, a bit of a free-for-all Friday here in the Bureau. That is the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau Insurance, go with the home team. They are your home team at Farm Bureau Insurance all across the great state of Mississippi. Your hometown heroes, that's your local Farm Bureau Insurance agents. Well, what would you like to get into today? I think here on a Friday, there's a lot to get into. You're a day away. We did sort of have a period of time yesterday just kicking around the games, looking ahead to the weekend schedule, sort of in preview mode. Really, we've yet to reach a part of the year for State or any other teams or Ole Miss where there's a ton of drama, right? Because, early season. But heck, you're about to look up and, most of the first month of the season is about to be gone this time in about 48 hours. So it'll be behind you. And it did sort of, I don't even know what you chalk it up to, how you categorize it. It certainly feels different than it did back then, but somebody pointed it out that State is looking to start the season 4-0 for the first time since 2014. Does that sound right? And I know some of that's just kind of how the schedule is arranged, but still. And somebody already pointed out this week that this is the first time since 2014 that both State and Ole Miss started 3-0 in the same year. And I don't know. I don't know how you chalk all that up. We've seen years before where lighter schedule early could fool you, tougher schedule late could bring you back down to earth. And that may be the situation for State this year because the SEC schedule is so incredibly tough. It's like, a bunch of your most winnable matchups, whatever that percentage is. I'm not saying your favorite, but whatever your most winnable matchups would be in SEC play. It's like those are regrettably on the road this year. And home games where you'd love to get some of those more winnable opponents at home. No, instead you get Tennessee, Texas, and Georgia. And then you're hosting the battle for the golden egg at the end of the year. So I don't know how you categorize all that kind of stuff, but the thing that I have enjoyed is just week to week. Like if you look at it from State's perspective, they got a coach who every week is saying, we're just trying to go 1-0. He repeats it over and over. Just trying to go 1-0 this week. 1-0, 1-0. Who cares about next week? Who cares about last week? Just got to go 1-0 this week. And kind of helps you to just week to week that thing. And I also think it helps people like me from a State fan perspective that the last 2 years were so bad. And it's like trudging through the mud week to week, right up to your knees. You can't move. It just feels like you're just dredging along there through 2 football seasons that you come into this one where, you're a little bit better and they went out and bought a bunch of new players and have a whole new look defensive front and all that kind of stuff. And so it looks a lot better. It's certainly easier to watch, and it makes the trip to the stadium of the game a lot more fun. And, here's another thing, too. I was thinking about this overnight and then a little bit more this morning. I have not harped on it. We've not had a long discussion about it. I don't know if we need to or when the time will be, but I have noticed, it has not been lost on me, that game operations at State games, inside the stadium, coordinating music, video elements, lights, all that kind of stuff with different parts of the game and, less recognizing people during timeouts on the field and taking your attention away from football and all those kinds of things. They've done a really nice job of kind of adding elements and then tweaking everything else and eliminating some to improve just kind of the whole experience of the game from a fan standpoint. They really have. And so I'm not going to come in here on a Friday and spend 15 minutes bragging on Zach Selman and his staff, but they do deserve a lot of credit. They've done, a nice job with it. But then you do get the night atmosphere with Arizona State, and that worked out perfectly, really. First home game, night game, get to show off your new lights in the stadium and that sort of stuff. But, Tennessee is going to be 3:15. I don't know how many more night games they're actually going to have this year at home. Really, I don't know how many more. I was looking, I think the Texas game has the potential to be an afternoon deal too. Like it could either be 2:30 or nighttime, but we'll see. Anyway, just some overall thoughts. It just feels, you're 3-0 going into a weekend and going into a game tomorrow hosting Northern Illinois where, State ought to win it. I think it'll be a much more competitive game than some people think. But I also, last week I had State winning by 40 over Alcorn State, and everybody else was going, it'll be 70-0. Well, they were a lot closer to it than I was. So, I don't know. But a chance to start 4-0. You're sitting here about 24 hours away from taking the field with a chance to start 4-0. It's neat. It's neat to think about. All right, so get on in here. You can comment on the live stream. It is live. I know you can't see me. That's for a reason. I'm not too presentable right now after the whole visit to the doctor. Just found out I got to go back in about a month, but who cares? It's just me. So, yeah, you got you got sound. You can see who's supporting the show and making it happen there. You just don't have to look. I don't have the cameras on. You don't have to look at my gruesome wound. That's how somebody described it on X the other day. But, yeah, we are live, so feel free to drop a comment. I've already heard from Gene and Sven and Andy and everybody, Facebook and YouTube, so I'm coming to y'all. You can also text me on the Country Pleasing text line. The number to text is 885-3776. That's a 601 number, 885-3776. Or call me on the Divinity phone. That is the Junction phone line, fueled by Prince Oil Company. Junction delis across the state of Mississippi. Prince Oil Company, fueling central Mississippi since 1960. The Junction phone line is 897-1059. That's a 601 number, 897-1059. So all open to you. Go any direction you want to go here on this free-for-all Friday. Just whatever you want to get into is cool with me. Hey, I do think it would be appropriate, though, games tomorrow, and there are some injuries and updates and that sort of thing, particularly around the SEC. So let's put that in the headlines and go ahead and knock that out.
Good evening. I'm Ron Burgundy, and this is what's happening in your world.
Good evening, and welcome to Eyewitness News.
Here's what's making news.
Headlines. You need to know what's going on. Headlines on this show brought to you by the Mortgage Man Group, powered by Illuminate Bank. Find them online at mortgagemanms.com. Mortgagemanms.com. Ole Miss is saying that quarterback Austin Simmons is unlikely to play versus Tulane. Reports say that Austin Simmons has been limited all week in practice. He's unlikely to contribute against Tulane on Saturday. He might be available in an emergency role, according to this report. The same as last week against Arkansas when he came off the bench and threw a touchdown pass in the 41-35 win. Pretty important deal. So the kid who played great, transfer Trinidad Chambliss, will be Ole Miss's quarterback tomorrow when they play Tulane. Other quarterback news in the SEC, South Carolina quarterback Lenoris Sellers has been upgraded to probable against Vanderbilt. That was the availability report that came out yesterday. Got hurt last week, banged up all week. The reports were that he was questionable. Yesterday, report comes out, he's probable. So he's probably going to start at Missouri. Did I say Vandy? At Missouri. South Carolina at Missouri tomorrow. And this is former SEC QB injury related. Washington Commanders QB Jaden Daniels is ruled out for Sunday's game against the Raiders. That's because of a knee injury. Dan Quinn, the head coach of the Commanders, and be the Washington team. I made that announcement today. So they're going to start Marcus Mariota in his place against the Raiders this weekend. They host them, by the way, in Washington. Raiders go to Washington. Noon game Central Time on Sunday. Those are your headlines brought to you by the Mortgage Man Group, powered by Illuminate Bank right here in Mississippi. Find them online at mortgagemanms.com. Mortgagemanms.com. Now, first I heard from today was on Facebook. Gene said, Happy Maroon Friday, all caps, 3 exclamation points. Back at you, Gene. Happy Maroon Friday to you. Then Sven commented on YouTube, and he said, Hail State, to the day, 22 years ago, Northern Illinois walked into Tuscaloosa and beat Bama. Really? He said, and one day ago, Mississippi State's ladies soccer team blew out Texas 3-0 on the road. He also beat number 1 Tennessee last week. Yeah, the soccer team's on fire. Beat Texas in Austin last night. I don't. So 2003? I do not remember that. Alabama losing. That'd be in the Shula years, wouldn't it? Yeah, I guess so. Speaking of, Bama fan here on the Country Pleasin' text line, Country Pleasin' sausage on grocery store shelves all throughout the Southeast. I will admit, I fried up some green onion, jalapeno, and cheddar for lunch today, among other things. Bama fans said every week ESPN makes football drama. You can't watch any games without them making it a drama. Yeah. Well, they try to, but see, that's the thing about it, Bama fan. I don't buy it. I don't know. I've reached a point where I just don't buy anything that anybody's selling anymore unless I genuinely, myself, on my own accord, like it or agree or whatever. But all the promo stuff and everything, yeah, it's a little bit over the top. Unnamed texter. Is Northern Illinois a better opponent than USM? Says, from what I can tell, they are a decent team. Well, I think they are. Yeah, I would say. I mean, I don't know. You get to the end of the year, it'd be easier to tell, right? Whole new everything at Southern Miss. I think they're pretty good, at Southern Miss. They're going to get better and better every week. They're going to have a chance against just about everybody in the Sun Belt because of their quarterback. I think that kid's that good. He's just a winner. Does all the right things. Better than Southern Miss. I mean, Southern Miss is, like I said, there's first year everything. First year quarterback, first year coach, whole bunch of first year players. Northern Illinois is not in that scenario. Northern Illinois went to Maryland 2 weeks ago. It was a 13-9 4-point game late in the fourth quarter with about 6.5 minutes left. They run the ball successfully. They have in program history a very recent road upset of Notre Dame. So, I mean, I think they are better and more recently. They'll challenge State. They really will. They'll have periods of this game tomorrow where they will run the ball at State with some success. It's going to happen. And, if what we have seen in the first 3 weeks from State is true, there will be a few times where they'll give up a rushing play here or there, but they'll be very hard to score on in the red zone. State has a lot of depth to throw at people on the defensive line once you get down there in the red zone and on the goal line. So it'll be hard to score on people in the red zone and the goal line. And offensively, State's just a big play waiting to happen. And you're 3 games into the year, so 3 games worth of film that really does support the idea that, hey, defensively, if you don't guard against it in any situation in the ballgame, whether it's the first play or whether it's the last play or any play in between, in any situation, if you don't really guard against it, they will run right past you and Shapen will throw it over your head. And so you have 3 games of that film, so I'd be curious to see. It's a Northern Illinois defense that has been pretty good against the run, and they'd play some man, and they'd stack boxes and devote people to it. And will that continue to be sort of their look against a State offense that is begging for you to play man-to-man on the outside now because of Evans and Thompson? They're begging you to do it. Please play man out there because we'll hoist it up. Robbie, he said War Eagle is going to roll over Boomer Sooner. He told us that yesterday. I disagreed. I think Oklahoma wins. I think it was Sven who thinks the same thing. Robbie says he's going to hold us to it, make fun of us on Monday when Auburn wins this game, because he texts, come Monday, we both are going to be 4-0. Tell you what. All right. How would that feel for Auburn's quarterback? What's his name? Jackson Arnold? Played at Oklahoma last year. Jason in Flagstaff. He's hollering conspiracy. The SEC doesn't want State having night games after the crowd mashed potato brain that Heisman candidate QB from Arizona State. Boy, he really did. At times he was rattled, especially early. He pumped it right over the heads of a couple of early open receivers in that game. Unnamed texter, crazy to me that the Commanders have 2 former Heisman winners, and says, I wonder how that happens. Yeah. I mean, it just happens because Mariota's bounced around. How many teams for him now? 3 or 4? Came up with Tennessee, started, and then been a backup pretty much everywhere he's gone. But, Mariota seems to be like he's like a Chase Daniels kind of guy. Of course, Mariota won the Heisman at Oregon. As much a product. He's really good, okay, but winning the Heisman now, it's like a team award. They don't know. Our media people that do a lot of this stuff, they just don't have the brain bandwidth to differentiate between great players on average teams and great teams with average players. They just don't know how to figure that out. But Mariota, really good. Great teams at Oregon, huge numbers, wins it the year that Dak was up for it, right? Chase Daniels, remember him? Quarterback, Missouri, always overachieving. Got invited to the Heisman deal, didn't win it, but wound up in the NFL, started some and had he had at least a 10-year NFL career, maybe more, of always the backup quarterback on somebody's team, making a ton of money to just be ready to go in and play when somebody gets hurt. And then you get to go in and do that. It's never any pressure. They don't have any expectation for you, right? Because your big dollar starting QBs in the NFL get hurt, expectations go out the window. But that kind of seems to be the same deal with Mariota. Although his first team that drafted him, they felt obligated to start him, didn't they? Yeah, how often it happens, so not often. No, you're right about that. Be fun to look it up. That might be. Is there an AI or a Chat GPT or a Siri or somebody you can just ask them and the computer spits that out? How rare, what are the examples over the last, 30 years of an NFL team having a first and second quarterback who are both Heisman winners? And it doesn't happen much. It has not happened much and will not happen much. Let's see, what did Andy say? He said the fun thing about this weekend, Andy on YouTube says the fun thing about this weekend is NIU has a pretty good run defense. It'll give us a chance to try and figure some things out. And a good test before Tennessee. Yeah, maybe so. I feel kind of like I'm right there with everything Jeff Lebby has said regarding his run game. That a lot of it sounds like coach speak, but it's not. It's actual reality. One being you've played 3 games, you have a different offensive line in all 3 for various injury reasons. Guarantee you, I guarantee you, of the 3-0 football teams in America, State's the only one who the last 2 games has a starting tackle who didn't even travel to the first game with the team And it had nothing to do with injury. He was perfectly healthy. He was just buried on the depth chart enough that he didn't even travel to the Southern Miss game. Next thing you know, he's starting in week 2 at one tackle. Then he starts again week 3 last week, but it's at the other side. You know, things like that really have hampered the consistency of their run game. In all 3 games, they've had a few explosive runs. It's just it hasn't been something where they're gashing people yet. And, so that's part of it. And the other part of it is this, Andy. I think the way they design their offense, the Levy offense, it's this way everywhere he's been, is what the defense is doing is dictating what you're going to take. Does that make sense? So you're not, and I know it's that way kind of to a degree for everybody, but I guess what I'm saying is on every play, they're basically looking at what is this defense doing and what are they trying to do, and we're going to attack, what they're giving us. We're going to attack what they're giving us. And I think everybody has come into the year going, we don't know about this receiver. We don't know about that receiver. We'll play a little zone, but we do know about their running back group. And so I think you've had some teams that have focused on stopping State's run and say, hey, if you want to beat us with big plays, see if you can do it. So far, State's been able to do it in the past game. I think that's been opponents' philosophy for 3 weeks, is focus on State's run game, make them beat you in the air. State has answered that challenge. All right, just getting started. Long way to go on this Friday. Back after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. Local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because you go to church with him. Your kids go to school together. He lives right down the road. You see each other at the ball games on Friday nights. So it's personal with your local Farm Bureau insurance agent in all 82 counties in this entire state. And if anything does arise and you need to, run it up the chain or up the flagpole, the home offices for Farm Bureau Insurance are in Jackson, Mississippi. It's right here in the state of Mississippi. It doesn't get more local than and personal, the service that you get with Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. I can't recommend them highly enough. And if you haven't, recently, let them give you a quote. Home, life, auto. It's Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Well, look at what we have here. Christmas come early. Boom. Little green onion country pleasing. That's not all. Little original smoked sausage flavor. That's not all. Jalapeno and cheddar. It has to be one of my favorite, just judging by how much of that stuff I eat. Oh, can't forget. Andouille. Don't be saying andouille, it's andouille. And last, but not least, pork and pineapple, bun size, 3 links, bun size. Look at that right there. Be careful. Come on with it. It's mine. Come here, jalapeno. Oh, that's all mine. Country pleasing sausage. We'll be right back after this message from C Spire. My name is Matt Wyatt. I host the Matt Wyatt radio show out of my home using C Spire fiber.
And when we hit the road as a family, Matt's show goes with us, thanks to C Spire Wireless.
Its ultra-reliable nationwide network lets me broadcast live from anywhere.
And never miss a moment that matters.
Connecting you to what inspires you most on C Spire's blazing fast 5G network. And right now, get your choice of free phone. That's customer inspired. That's C Spire.
Y'all like coffee? I know you do. Check it out. Little High Point Roasters from New Albany, Mississippi. That is the breakfast blend. It's a whole bean. And if you notice, that's how much I've had already. Brazil Oberon. Not Orgeron or Orgeron, you LSU. No, Brazil Oberon. That ain't all. What we got there? What flavor is that? Papua New Guinea, grade AA. Bring it on. High Point Roasters, New Albany, Mississippi. Roast it right there. That's whole bean. One more. I got more. Ah.
And worldwide at thezone1059.com.
Back with you. I'm Matt. In the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio, Farm Bureau, go with the home team. They are your home team at Farm Bureau Insurance all across the great state of Mississippi. Will comments on YouTube, says, can we get a little sonic boom? Well, yeah, sure you can. Why not? There you go, Will, just for you. Now, Sven immediately agreed and said, good idea, Will, I sign up for it. So he likes it. Robbie likes the sonic boom as well. He approves on the text line. So roll your windows down, turn it up to 11, turn some heads. See what happens. Regarding tomorrow's Mississippi State game, Sven said this game will be over after 30 minutes. Final score 45-7, Mississippi State. Hey, Sven, and what you want to bet that, you know, if they do that, man, they'll, whatever these meaningless rankings they have, they'll skyrocket State up there and build up that Tennessee and Mississippi State game. All they can is this big ranked matchup, won't they? Yeah, they'll do that. So get on in here. You can text me, call me, comment on the live stream. We're just getting started really here on a Friday. There you go, Will. Sonic Boom, just for you. Sven commented, Robbie, you might want to take note. Robbie, the Auburn fan, might want to take note. I mean, you don't have to. But if you believe Sven, you might want to take note. Sven says Oklahoma has the best run defense in the SEC. Good luck, Arnold, trying to run on them. When he tries to pass, 2-3 interceptions guaranteed. Oklahoma will roll and win easy, he said. That's Sven. That's his prediction. Hey, Robbie said hot garbage. Okay, and I said this earlier in the week. That's the Oklahoma ban. I think it might be a battle of maybe two of the best bands in the SEC. I think certainly two of the best fight songs in the SEC. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I agree with myself. Does that. Make a statement, and then they tell themselves, yeah, I agree. Sven looked it up. He's on YouTube. He said the NFL team that famously had multiple Heisman Trophy winners in the same roster, the Raiders had Marcus Allen, Bo Jackson, and Tim Brown on the same team back in 1988. Other examples include the Titans when they had Mariota and Henry in 2019. 49ers had, well, but Sven Rice, Jerry Rice didn't win the Heisman. He said 49ers had Joe Montana and Jerry Rice. Was it Joe Montana and Joe Montana and Marcus Allen? Or did he always play for the Raiders? I don't know. Chris on X commented. He says, I agree 100% about the rankings for next week. Hail State. I'm just telling you. Like, I think, you know how this is not even a conspiracy. It's just reality, because it's entertainment now. It's full-on entertainment. I mean, it really is. We just aren't in the era anymore where there's an element of, hey, they're going to school. I mean, some are. But it's just full-on entertainment. Okay, so what's going to happen? It doesn't matter even if State plays poorly tomorrow, ugly. It could be low scoring, ugly. If State wins the game by any margin at all, they'll be 4-0. And what they're going to do is they're going to just, these bogus rankings we have until the playoff rankings come out that actually mean something. They're going to shoot State right on up there. They're going to give them a nice round number next to their name so that they can really pump up the State versus Tennessee matchup. See, and here's what I'm saying. Fine, go ahead, do it. I don't care. For me, as a fan of State, and obviously, getting to work the games too, but still, I'm just saying overall, as a fan of State, I don't care what they do. Rank them number one. Don't rank them and tell me that they are 101 in somebody's power. I don't care about any of it. I could not possibly care less about any of that than I do. It has no effect whatsoever on what my eyes tell me when I watch the teams, and my excitement level to watch them play Tennessee or anybody else has no effect on it at all. But you're right, Chris. Get ready for it. They'll do that. Grumpy texts the show. Matt, Grumpy's at the Junction in Canton. Attaboy! Did you get some food there, Grumpy? Junction delis all across the state. Fueled by Prince Oil Company. Have a sausage dog for me. Not on me, Grumpy, but for me. Grumpy is at the Junction in Canton. He says, did not have your new number. Would Beaver like some lunch? What new number? I don't have a new number. I don't think. As far as I know. Well, the answer to that is yes. I kind of feel like Beaver would always like some lunch. He's always up for a little lunch. Free lunch. Unnamed texter says, I finally got to where I could watch the show on YouTube and the cameras are not on. What's up? Is it on my end? Appreciate your show. No. I had my ear cut on and gouged on earlier this week at the dermatologist, and it's gross. It's not that I am embarrassed by it. No, I'm just thinking of you like, this is the lunch hour. There's a good chance that some people watch the show while maybe enjoying their meal at lunch break. I'm not trying to gross anybody out. So cameras will be back on next week. J-Rock texts and says, hey, man, I don't think Joe Montana or Jerry Rice won the Heisman. Did he not? I don't know. So Montana didn't win a Heisman either? I don't know. Whatever. Let's see. Jason in Flagstaff, Arizona says, by the way, speaking of rankings, got to give props to the Arizona Wildcats beat writer. He says, I talk to him sometimes on Twitter. Michael, Levi? Says he's had State ranked 22 and Arizona State 23 since the game. So there's somebody believing. Hey, and Beeve, Grumpy's asking you what you want. He's giving you the options. He's going to bring you lunch. Let's say here on the country pleasing text line. So let him know. Let him know what you want. Yeah, Sven. So if that was an AI thing, then they got the part wrong about the 49ers related to the Heisman with Montana and Rice. Those guys wouldn't be a part of it. Okay, back to this idea of rankings. I told you what's going to happen, and it will. But, if State wins the game tomorrow by any margin at all, Sven says State should never be ranked. We beat 4 nobodies if we beat NIU. And then he says this, Arizona State without Scadaboo is 50% of the team they were last year. They're not as good. I saw one of these funny reels on Instagram earlier today, and it said, this is Cam Scadaboo, getting ready to play for the Giants. And it's this guy out in the backyard, and he's got a piece of a 2x6 cut off, and he's just headbutting it, trying to break it. And he's just like, it's like, bam! He's obviously not going to break. He's beating himself to death with his forehead trying to hit this board, and it's like, I could see that maybe that is how he gets ready for game. He is a bowling ball now. There is no doubt about it. Scadaboo's a bowling ball, but it's not as effective, obviously, in the NFL because everybody's so good. He's still effective, but not as overbearing as he was in some of the games in college. And then it makes you wonder what are the prospects of keeping that up for any period of time for a guy, a running back who is that physical and prone to just helmet on helmet contact. I don't know. I just hope he doesn't get hurt. All right, rolling along, hour 1 on this Friday. We'll preview some more games, get into it. We made a few picks yesterday. We'll go back over those. Stick around.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
The Junction Deli's, convenience redefined, and Prince Oil Company, a match made in heaven. The Junction Deli, fueled by Prince Oil Company. Prince Oil Company has been fueling Central Mississippi since 1960. It's a pretty good little while. Wonderful people. Man, am I ever more tickled that they're a part of the show and I'm a part of their team now. As you know, if you listen to the radio show, I've been to the Junction in several different places around the state. I've bought gas just like you at a lot of places that are fueled by Prince Oil Company, and they are really wonderful people. By the way, that brand spanking new Junction Deli, Chevron, right across the highway from Germantown High School. It's in Canton. We say Gluckstadt. Do you realize they and other Junction Delis, they serve country pleasing sausage over there on the buffet? They don't get much better than that. The Junction and Prince Oil Company. That's what I'm talking about. We'll be right back after this message from C Spire. My name is Matt Wyatt. I host the Matt Wyatt radio show out of my home using C Spire fiber.
And when we hit the road as a family, Matt's show goes with us, thanks to C Spire Wireless.
Its ultra-reliable nationwide network lets me broadcast live from anywhere.
And never miss a moment that matters.
Connecting you to what inspires you most on C Spire's blazing fast 5G network. And right now, get your choice of free phone. That's customer inspired. That's C Spire.
Welcome to my photography studio downtown Tupelo. Everybody needs a headshot, especially if you're in the professional world, in sales, any sort of customer related business, outreach business, anything like that. Everybody needs a headshot. Here at my photography studio in Tupelo, we do a lot more than just headshots, but we're kind of focusing on headshots for that very reason, because everybody needs it. Let me show you a little something about it. One thing I'm able to do here is sort of have 2 to 3 different looks in a small space that we can do in a short amount of time. Several different looks and styles of lighting with studio equipment, studio lighting. Some with flash, and a particular look that I've worked on, a constant lighting scenario where you sit down, the lights are already on, you lean in, and we kind of illuminate the whole face. And we get several options in the studio in a short amount of time. Here's 2 priorities for me when I shoot headshots. One is it has to look like you. Okay, none of this fake stuff. The other goal is it's got to look like you at your best. And that's my job as a photographer. And I've got a lot of experience over the years, and I feel really confident I can do that for you. I would love to schedule a session for you here at the studio in downtown Tupelo. I'm above the Reed's Gift Shop, just off of Troy Street, the corner of Troy and Spring. If you can't get to Tupelo, that's okay. Let's talk about it, because we can pack the studio up and come to you if the schedules fit and that sort of thing. I'd love to help you with your headshots. I think everybody needs them. I'm inviting you to please email me, reach out. You can go to my website, mattwhyattmedia.com, email address matt@mattwhyattmedia.com, and let's talk about your headshot. Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi, local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do, at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone, because you
Right now on the Zone 1059 and worldwide at thezone1059.com.
All right, back with you, rolling along here in hour number 1. I'm Matt in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau, go with the home team. Listen, a big round of applause to one of our regular texters, J-Rock, because I just remembered, J-Rock, that you went to the trouble last week. About this time last week, it was either Thursday or Friday of last week, so ahead of the weekend games. And I was sitting here calling out scores, like picking scores for these games, for last week's games. And you wrote them down. Sent me the picture. You wrote them down on a paper towel. Sent me the picture. Mike Leach would have been proud of you, by the way. Just write it down on a napkin. That's all you need. Who cares what it looks like? And so he recorded the scores that I picked. Well, I don't know what sparked this, but I remember during the break that we did that. I went back, I found the picture you sent, and now I'm able to review the scores that I picked on those SEC games last week versus what actually happened. Would you like to know the results? So here it is. Last week, I picked Tennessee to beat Georgia 28-24. I was wrong. I picked Tennessee by 4. In fact, it was Georgia by 3 in overtime. It was good and close, though. It was in the ballpark. Wasn't it? Let's see. Looks like I picked Missouri to beat Kentucky last week 45-7. I'm sorry, Missouri to beat Louisiana 45-7. I was right on it. They won 52-10. So they won by 42, and I had them winning by 38. I missed it by a little bit. I had my pick last week was Oklahoma to beat Temple. None of these were hard, by the way. Okay, it's not like I'm giving myself a ton of credit here. None of these were difficult. I picked Oklahoma to beat Temple 31-17, it looks like. and they won 42-3. I picked Ole Miss to beat Arkansas 28-21. They beat Arkansas 41-35. So they won by 6. Much higher scoring game than I picked. Had them winning by 7. But it was competitive. All right, here we go. I had Alabama 28-10 over Wisconsin last week. They won 38-14. What was that, 28? Sorry, 24? 24-point margin. And I picked an 18-point margin. So, a lot of these, like I'm in the ballpark on the competitiveness. Again, some of them weren't that hard. It's just that they were much more blowout than I even picked. What about that one? Let's see. I picked, man, I almost nailed it. I had LSU beating Florida according to the J-Rock paper towel napkin. I had LSU beating Florida 24-10. Final score was 20-10. Who else did I miss? Well, there was more. Okay, so let's see. I picked, this is the one I got the most wrong. I picked Notre Dame to beat A&M 28-17. Wrong. A&M beat them 41-40. I was wrong in every way you could be wrong about that game. Let's see. What else? Auburn versus South Alabama. Man, I was so close. Look at that. I had Auburn 35-13 according to the J-Rock napkin. I had Auburn 35-13. Auburn won 31-15. I had Texas. Horns up. I was wrong on this. I had Texas winning 45-7. They won 27-10. I picked a 38-point margin? It was actually 17. That's way off. And finally, I had Vandy beating South Carolina 24-23, but the final was a blowout. Vandy beat them 31-7. The other one that's not on here, I don't think. Yeah, it was I forget. I think I had something in the neighborhood of like, what was it, Sven? I think I said 45-7 or something like that. And everybody was like, nah, it'll be 60 or 70-0. Y'all were right about that on State and Alcorn. Well, anyway, thanks for doing that. Those are the ones I picked last week. Some were pretty close. Again, I will admit it's not like they were that hard to pick. Sven says, who will score 45 points on that Texas team when the quarterback can't complete a pass to save his life? Well, I know. I mean, I thought the lid was off after they'd had a little better week the next, after that, but I'm sorry, before that, but So I guess the lesson would be don't pick any big, huge, fat scores for Texas until they prove they can do it. Or would that be the lesson? I mean, Sven's goes so far as to say that Texas is in trouble and they're a 7-5 team. All right, here's what I'm going to do. I've got 4 minutes. I'm going warp speed over the SEC games. I'm going to jot down scores here. Okay, you ready? State, Northern Illinois. I'm going to go State 31, Northern Illinois 17. Arkansas and Memphis. I'm going to go Arkansas to win 38-35. Tennessee, UAB, do y'all even care? I think that one, I differ from Rooster. I think that one's probably somewhere in the neighborhood of like 50-0. That's what I think. Auburn, Oklahoma. I'm going Oklahoma to win at home. I'll pick Oklahoma to win 28-21. Ole Miss, Tulane. This may be a little bit like last week. And I'll pick it higher scoring. I'll go Ole Miss 38, Tulane 31. Florida and Miami. Yeah, I'm going to go Hurricanes. I'll say Miami wins that one 28-14. over Florida. I got Vandy over Georgia State. Let's just call it 35-10. I mean, LSU, CLA, who cares? But let's just go 31-0, shutout. And then, yeah, I agree with you, Sven. Texas, Sam Houston. Let's say 24-6. 24-6. Texas over Sam Houston. There you go. Bama fan disagrees, though. He says there'll be a 9-win team at Texas. So let's look at their schedule. They can't offense their way out of a paper sack right now at Texas. They are 2-1, lost to Ohio State. They scored 38 against San Jose. Last week, 27-1 over UTEP. This week, Sam Houston. Soft, soft, soft. So they'll be 3-1. And then they go to Florida. Gosh. Next week, Texas at Florida. Is it next week? No, maybe they have an open date in here somewhere. Anyway, sometime in the next couple of weeks they go to Florida. That could be ugly. I mean, they'll win that. They'll find a way to win it, won't they? Then they host Oklahoma. I bet Oklahoma beat them. I say host. It's not a host. They'll just be the home team at the neutral site deal. But I bet Oklahoma wins that. They'll go to Kentucky and win. They're going to go to State. They should win at State, but who knows? You go in there. I mean, especially if you give State a night game, that could be an upset. You know, they probably need to be on upset alert when they come to Starkville, and they probably need to be on upset alert when they host Vanderbilt. I hate to say it, but until they show you something, they'll lose at Georgia. That's like a guarantee, isn't it? They'll lose at Georgia. They'll host Arkansas and shoot, man. Hey, next to last game of the year is Arkansas at Texas. If they played tomorrow, how would you feel about that game? Weird, isn't it? And then they're going to finish the year with the rivalry game against A&M. And, I mean, right now, it's just the way it is right now. Texas A&M looks like a much better team. You never know, though. You just don't know. Week to week, bunch of 19-year-old millionaires running around on your team. Some of them not even playing and got more jewelry around their neck than the jewelry store. Driving nice cars, millions in the bank. Jake from Yazoo texted and said, I'll run the site for Matt's picks as long as it's named Run Tell Him I Said It. Well, see, he said Run Tell Him I Told You, but I like Run Tell Him I Said It. One word, Jake, all together, all mashed together, no spaces. Run Tell Him I Said It. Run Tell Him I Said It.com. That gum. It's not a bad idea. But look, I've got to do a better job. I hate that I waited until Friday. J-Rock, again, thank you so much for recording those last week, or else I should have done it on Monday. So maybe sometime in hour 2, we'll write them down. I've got them written here. Okay, maybe I'll keep that till next week. All right. Hour 1 in the books, hour 2 coming up. Get on in here. Back after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back. Yeah. After these messages, we'll be right back.
Well, look at what we have here. Christmas come early. Boom. Little green onion country pleasing. That's not all. Little original smoked sausage flavor. That's not all. Jalapeno and cheddar. It has to be one of my favorite, just judging by how much of that stuff I eat. Oh, can't forget. andouille. Don't be saying andouille, it's andouille. And last, but not least, pork and pineapple, bun size, 3 links bun size. Look at that right there. Be careful. Come on with it. It's mine. Come here, jalapeno. Oh, that's all mine. Country pleasing sausage.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Welcome to my photography studio downtown Tupelo. Everybody needs a headshot, especially if you're in the professional world, in sales, any sort of customer related business, outreach business, anything like that. Everybody needs a headshot. Here at my photography studio in Tupelo, we do a lot more than just headshots, but we're kind of focusing on headshots for that very reason, because everybody needs it. Let me show you a little something about it. One thing I'm able to do here is sort of have 2 to 3 different looks in a small space that we can do in a short amount of time. Several different looks and styles of lighting with studio equipment, studio lighting. Some with flash and a particular look that I've worked on, a constant lighting scenario where you sit down, the lights are already on, you lean in, and we kind of illuminate the whole face. And we get several options in the studio in a short amount of time. Here's 2 priorities for me when I shoot headshots. One is it has to look like you. Okay, none of this fake stuff. The other goal is it's got to look like you at your best. And that's my job as a photographer. And I've got a lot of experience over the years, and I feel really confident I can do that for you. I would love to schedule a session for you here at the studio in downtown Tupelo. I'm above the Reed's Gift Shop, just off of Troy Street, the corner of Troy and Spring. If you can't get to Tupelo, that's okay. Let's talk about it, because we can pack the studio up and come to you if the schedules fit and that sort of thing. I'd love to help you with your headshots. I think everybody needs them. I'm inviting you to please email me, reach out. You can go to my website, mattwhyattmedia.com, email address matt@mattwhyattmedia.com, and let's talk about your headshot.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi, local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because you go to church with him. Your kids go to school together. He lives right down the road. You see each other at the ball games on Friday nights. So it's personal with your local Farm Bureau insurance agent in all 82 counties in this entire state. And if anything does arise and you need to, run it up the chain or up the flagpole, the home offices for Farm Bureau Insurance are in Jackson, Mississippi. It's right here in the state of Mississippi. It doesn't get more local than and personal, the service that you get with Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. I can't recommend them highly enough. And if you haven't, recently, let them give you a quote. Home, life, auto. It's Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team.
Number you need. It's 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
Buying a new car might make you say things like,
I can't believe it.
Seriously, it's ours?
Is this real life? Yeah, it's real life, all right.
But what you really need to say is something that can protect your new ride.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Yep, we're here to help you choose the coverage you need. So just remember, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
State Farm, Bloomington, Illinois. Get 5 quarts of Syntec Full Synthetic and a MicroGuard Select Oil Filter for just $32.99 at O'Reilly Auto Parts. In-store only, limit supply.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
The Starbucks Summer Berry Refresher is officially back. Bold notes of raspberry, blueberry, and blackberry shaken with ice and poured over raspberry-flavored pearls. Try it with lemonade or coconut milk. Available for a limited time. Your summer berry refresher is ready at Starbucks.
WRKS Pickens Jackson. We are good to go. With more of the Matt Wyatt Show. Coming to you direct and live at the Zone 105.9 and worldwide.
Now, here we go.
At the Zone 105.9.com.
Back with you. I'm Matt in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau, go! With the home team. They are your home team at Farm Bureau Insurance all across the great state of Mississippi. Your hometown heroes. That's your local Farm Bureau Insurance agents. Y'all, you want to hear a good sound? A yummy sound? Listen to this. Hot coffee. Hey, out of the thermos into my mug from High Point Roasters in New Albany, Mississippi. Go to highpointroasters.com. That's where I get my coffee. I'm not lying to you. This ain't no ad, advertisement. This is real life. In the words of the late, great Mr. Joe Garrett, Farm Bureau Insurance in Alcorn County. Now that is real. That's what that is, real. Go to highpointroasters.com. Get your coffee there. Big 1 pound bags of it. You can get it already ground or you can get whole bean, whatever you want. Single origin from all over the world. Like they literally go get it. Bring it back, roast it right there. Blends of different shades and thickness, strengths. It's really good stuff. Big 1 pound bag, so it's a little more, but you won't run out anytime soon. So get your coffee there. You'll be glad you did. Yeah, Sven said, let's see how Matt's doing on his picks. What do you say? Let's see how often Matt wins with his picks. I know. I'll be honest with you, Sven. I don't feel like my picks ought to be taken all that seriously. I mean, because it's really surface level, like what little bit I get to see of the other games and scores and that kind of stuff. I do get to see some, and I have a little bit of a trained eye, but it's not like I'm watching the whole game for all of the other teams and stuff, So then for me, I feel almost a little bit, I don't know, disingenuous if I stand before you and go, hey, here's my, stone cold locks for the week. I mean, your guess is as good as mine. And Hale State fans said that you could call it Wyatt's Winners. Well, I tried that one time. I did that. And we even did NFL stuff one time years and years ago. And I think it was actually called that. And it didn't. So, I don't do the gambling thing. And I was not picking them against the spread. And I was just picking who's going to win and lose. Put a score on it. And people, they screamed and hollered. And they want them to pick against the spread for it to mean anything. And finally, I just went, you know what? Forget it. I'm not doing it. Here's another question. Wyatt's Winners. Would it be too much of a take, although inverse, but like an inverse take on Leonard's Losers?
Another load of smart pills has been distributed, and I'm slap worn out. So I'll just say, so long, neighbors. Get me out of here, person.
I mean, the late, great Leonard's Losers, right? I don't know. I don't know. MSU 1980 texted the show on the Country Pleasing text line. He said, Matt, State is asking fans to wear maroon tomorrow. He said, there's no way I can wear maroon sitting still, crowded in the stadium in the sun tomorrow when at the game time it's supposed to be 91. Said they should have made this a white out. I'll be wearing white and still be soaking wet. Yeah, look, here's a question for you. Not making light of what you said. My take on it, MSU 1980, I'm not all that big on tell everybody what to wear. I don't really know. I'm not too big on that. And it's just one of the many, many reasons that you should listen to someone else, the administration, and don't listen to me. I have a bad rebellious streak. And it's like, if you want me to wear something, the last thing you should do is tell me to wear it, because then I'm obligated not to. They say, wear maroon. Like, I'm not wearing maroon. I'll wear something else. I'm not doing that. I got to prove the point that I will not be told what to put on. Now, here's the other thing, though. 1980. Here's what I'm asking you is, what difference does it really make? I mean, honestly. So it is going to be hot. I don't know that it'll be as humid as it can be. Last week was hot, but it was really not that humid. I didn't think. Anyhow, I wasn't sitting out in the sun, though, too. I'm in the press box, so I probably need to shut up. But, okay, it's going to be 91 or 92. You're sitting on a metal bleacher. Sun overhead. Game's going to kick off at 3:15. So, question. Ultimately, what difference does it make if you wear white or maroon or black or any other color? I am not convinced. I will not be convinced that it's that much cooler wearing a white T-shirt in the sun as it is any other color. I just will not be convinced it makes that big of a difference in the temperature that I ought to be concerned with it for that reason. That's just where I am on it. Is that to question things like that, is it very Mike Leach of me? Well, it's funny you should say that, because I am not kidding. This is on the National Day calendar. Today, September the 19th, is National Talk Like a Pirate Day. National Talk Like a Pirate Day. That's what it is. And now, naturally, you think talk like a pirate. What does that mean? Arr, matey, that sort of stuff, right? The whole cliche-ish deal. Hollywood. The Hollywood talk like a pirate thing. Well, that's what they mean when they say talk like a pirate day. It's September the 19th. I propose this. Let's hear a real pirate talk on National Talk Like a Pirate Day. We'll go back in time and hear what the late, great Mike Leach, the pirate himself, said about the expanded playoffs. Pay attention.
I think 64 teams, but I think the minimum's 16. If you had 16 teams, then I think we could settle a whole lot of these issues. It doesn't matter what the East Coast or Los Angeles or anybody in between thinks. All of a sudden there's 16 teams. Oh, geez, number 16 beat number 4. Well, screw number 4. Number 4 is out, you see, because number 16 got them. I mean, that'd pretty well solve all of it, wouldn't it? And then 32, you could easily do 32. And then the most stunning thing, and I give this lecture probably 3 times every year, but then college football says they scratch their head and they give a really befuddled, mixed up look, and they get a really screwy expression on their face. Like, well, how can that possibly be? I mean, how can we do that? I mean, how is it possible that you could actually have a playoff format in college football? Well, gee, I don't know. Let's start with, we can go down to the local city park, and I'll bet you somebody that handles youth football could tell you how to do something like that. Well, that's too low of a scale. Let's move it up a little bit. Okay, how about high school from a major state? Let's say Texas, Florida, or California. Let's see how they do it. Okay, let's see. These guys, They win a certain number of games. They have a qualification. Okay, now, boom, they're in the playoffs. But they don't have just 2 or 4 teams or something. Hell no, because they want everybody to have fun and enjoy this playoff system. So they have 16 or 32 or 64 or something like that. Okay, so then they play each other, and everybody's on the edge of their seat going to wait and see if this team's going to beat that team or going to beat the other team. And so then, in the end, there's occasionally a debate. If only this team hadn't lost to that team in this round, then this team could have won the whole thing, and that's perhaps true. But the thing that is indisputable is that at the end of the gauntlet, this team came out on number 1, and there's no debate whatsoever who's state champion. And then you can go to Division III. Let's see, how do they do it? Oh, they do it the exact same way. Okay, now the suspense is really starting to get thick because, Division II might do it differently. No, in fact, they don't. They do it exactly, boys and girls, like Division III does. And then now they've changed the initials because in this era of political correctness, they love to change initials and make it proper to say things one way instead of another. And I forget what the initials is. But then they go to 1AA. Okay, at 1AA. How do they do it in 1AA? 1AA. I mean, because that's getting closer to us, and we're really sophisticated because we're major 1A. How do they do it in 1AA? You know what? They have a playoff for it, Matt, and they play it and they figure it out. And then, okay. Well, they're all below us. Okay, what about above us, the NFL? And everybody, that just makes you feel good to roll those initials off your. It's like Huckleberry Finn said. Some days I just have to swear to get a good taste in my mouth. Okay, so then NFL. Now that makes my mouth feel good because that's the best and they're the top. Let's see here. How do they figure out their champion? Well, they in fact organize a playoff system. And how many teams are in there? A hell of a lot more than 4. And then they sort it all out, and then they have one battle after the next. And at the end, guess what? They sort out a champion, and it's called the Super Bowl. And there's not interest diminished because people are captivated by the playoffs. And the biggest sporting event every year in the history of the world is the Super Bowl. Okay, any questions?
And that's Mike Leach himself. Years ago, I don't know exactly when, but I know it was during his time as the head coach at Washington State. But Mike Leach, our modern day Pirate himself, years ago as the coach at Washington State, sort of spelling out colloquially, metaphorically, whatever, how absurd the college football postseason had become. I think at the time, it was like, we're going to do a playoff. How many? 4 teams. Oh, and he's making the point there. He was just all over it. You heard what he said. I think 32, but at least 16. Well, what are we about to do? 12? How many years did it take to finally wise up and realize that's the way to go? The Pirate himself on National Talk Like a Pirate Day. You want to talk like a real Pirate Day, talk like Mike Leach. And that is, think outside the box. Just use your head, use some common sense. And don't, always approach everything of you're so anchored down by the way things have always been done. You don't necessarily have to be that way. Jason in Flagstaff says, he says, "Oh Lord, I'd never be able to find it now, but last summer, Phoenix Police Department or something did an experiment, a different colored shirt in the sun." Said, and I can't recall the exact results. Said, but black was far and away the hottest temperature. Said, I'll see if I can find it. Okay, again, what I'm saying, Jason, is, when you say far and away, but what are we talking about? The shirt itself. Okay, if you're wearing it, I got all kinds of questions about it, Jason, because I'm not smart enough to know off the top of my head, and I'm certainly not interested enough to go experiment for myself. So what I'm saying is, let's say you're wearing a shirt that out in the sun and it's black and we're told that it's so much hotter than another color. Okay, where is it hotter? On the outside? Or is it automatically hot on the inside of that shirt where I am as it is on the outside where they're measuring it? See, if you're going, here's what I'm saying, Jason. The study that you're talking about, they did out there in Arizona, and if you can find the link, send it to me. But what I want to know, where did they measure it? Because if they didn't measure the temperature inside the black T-shirt in the sun versus the white T-shirt or another color in the sun, then who cares? If you didn't measure it, because if it's taking the little temperature gun and just pointing and zapping it, no, I need to know what it's like on the inside, because that's where I am if I'm wearing it, is on the inside of it. And then to what degree, like literally, are we talking about? If what we're talking about is 4 degrees or even 8 degrees, then who cares if it's 94? I mean, that ain't enough. I'm not really invested in this. I just find it entertaining. I find trying to wrap my head around the logic and the path of the reasoning in this stuff. My father-in-law, who's a lot smarter than me, his name is Winky, says that the black clothing absorbs heat while white is going to reflect it. Makes total sense. I know as a photographer that, if you want to bounce any kind of light, a little bit of light or a lot of light, you want to bounce it around, you can use something white to do that. If you want to soak it up where it doesn't bounce anywhere, you use something black for that. I know that. Okay, but again, all right, so if I go out in a T-shirt in the sun, middle of the day, summertime in Mississippi, and I put on a black shirt, it's soaking up, absorbing light, so it's also theoretically then absorbing heat. Well, what does that mean to me on the inside of it versus wearing a white one? It's reflecting it. Okay, what does that mean to me on the inside of it? The temperature on the inside of it. Because I'm telling you, if we're not talking about 15 to 20 degrees, then what's the point? Who cares? Really? Another example, the type of material. Okay, so, by the way, side note, if you've ever wanted to know the kinds of things that go through a B student's head when the A+ students were talking about smart stuff, here's your example. All right, they measure the temperature inside of football helmets. They have a device that is going to measure that temperature inside of football helmets. And inside the pads, what do they call it, the bubble? What do they call that thing? Well, all right. So, hot summertime. We've got, let's say I'm wearing a football helmet. It's not cloth. It is, whatever that is, plastic, whatever that is. And it's black. Versus another helmet over here that is white. And it's hot sun. What's the temp inside that helmet? See, that's what I want to know. And it's not that I don't disagree with I don't disagree at all with the measurements on the heat on this stuff. I guess what I'm saying is, are we, and this was our friend MSU 1980, who's a big fan, big listener of the show, who mentioned earlier that with it being a 3:15 kickoff at State tomorrow, and they're encouraging everyone to wear maroon. And he says, it's going to be 91 degrees at kickoff, so I'm not wearing maroon because it's hot. I'm going to wear white. And my thinking is, I'm just going, I'm not convinced that makes all that much of a difference. I mean, it's burning up hot either way. Let's see. Mac in Vicksburg goes, you say 8 degrees isn't much as you look down on the commoners from your climate-controlled media room. Yeah. Well, okay, in my defense, at Davis Wade, it's not climate-controlled. It's just open air. Big old window. The window does open. We're just in the shade. All right. But, yeah, you're right. It ain't at all like sitting out there on those metal bleachers. I get it. I'm not making fun of anybody. I guess really maybe more than anything else, the overall point is just wear whatever the heck you want to wear. I have yet to get to the point where I am willing to just go along with what everybody tells me I ought to wear for any occasion. No. I'm not doing that. I'm just not there yet. Well, we're participate. We're gonna have a stripe out. Well, have at it. I don't think I will. All right. See, okay, JS290 with a great example. How porous is the weave on the clothing material? Is it breathable or not? Like I'm wearing this thin Columbia fishing hoodie with the MSU interlocking logo that I got from the Mississippi State University golf course. It's black. Promise you it's a cooler thing to wear than some other things of other colors because of the type of material too. See? You see what I mean? There's a lot of ways we can go on this. I think that's enough, though. 5-10 minutes ago, I think that was enough. All right. Rolling along. Hour 2 on this Friday. Those picks and those scores coming up after this. Stick around.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Hey y'all, Matt Wyatt here. Each week on the Mississippi Outdoors Podcast, we talk with the people who live it. Hunters, biologists, game wardens, local celebrities, and storytellers that know Mississippi better than anyone.
Those bass come up there and attack them. You know how mean bass can be there.
You're never going to believe this. Matt Wyatt just talked about your deer on the radio. I said, what did he say? He said, it was Photoshopped. And I said, what?
They don't know anything about hunting. They just have never had that right, that freedom.
Dude, that's us, man. That's what we do. So tune in. Be inspired, and we'll see you outdoors.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Yeah.
Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. Local agents in all 82 counties. So here's what that means. You have that fender bender, hopefully you don't, but let's say you do at an odd time. Something goes on. It's Saturday night at 11 p.m. You don't have to wait until Monday morning to call some 800 number and talk to someone 3 states away. You've got your agent's phone number right there on your phone because you go to church with him. Your kids go to school together. He lives right down the road. You see each other at the ball games on Friday nights. So it's personal with your local Farm Bureau insurance agent in all 82 counties in this entire state. And if anything does arise and you need to, run it up the chain or up the flagpole, the home offices for Farm Bureau Insurance are in Jackson, Mississippi. It's right here in the state of Mississippi. It doesn't get more local than and personal, the service that you get with Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. I can't recommend them highly enough. And if you haven't, recently, let them give you a quote. Home, life, auto. It's Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Well, look at what we have here. Christmas come early. Boom. Little green onion country pleasing. That's not all. Little original smoked sausage flavor. That's not all. Jalapeno and cheddar. It has to be one of my favorite, just judging by how much of that stuff I eat. Oh, can't forget. Andouille. Don't be saying andouille, it's andouille. And last, but not least, oh, pork and pineapple, bun size, 3 links bun size. Look at that right there. Be careful. Come on with it. It's mine. Come here, jalapeno. Oh, that's all mine. Country pleasing sausage. The Junction Delis, Convenience Redefined, and Prince Oil Company, a match made in heaven. The Junction Deli, fueled by Prince Oil Company. Prince Oil Company has been fueling Central Mississippi since 1960s, pretty good little while. Wonderful people. Man, am I ever more tickled that they're a part of the show and I'm a part of their team now. As you know, if you listen to the radio show, I've been to the Junction in several different places around the state. I've bought gas just like you at a lot of places that are fueled by Prince Oil Company, and they are really wonderful people. By the way, that brand spanking new Junction Deli, Chevron, right across the highway from Germantown High School. It's in Canton, but we say Gluckstadt. Do you realize they and other Junction Delis, they serve country pleasing sausage over there on the buffet? They don't get much better than that. The Junction and Prince Oil Company. That's what I'm talking about.